everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Knee Slappin' K-Pop podcast. I am Kayla, and once again, I am here joined with Sammi.
Hello, hello.
And we are back again for lovely and very fun round 2 of Road to Kingdom Ace of Ace. It's a show. It sure is a show.
It is a show that is giving us performances.
Yep. That is indeed what's happening.
At some point on television.
Yep. I did actually get to watch the live stream without subtitles this week, so that's something.
Oh, nice.
It's so fun to watch a show with very simple rules without knowing what they're saying at all.
It really is.
It's like once they start like doing explanation of like points and shit, I'm just like, I don't know what's happening here anymore. Like, I truly, what are we doing?
And like,
we take so long to announce the points. It's like, can we?
That's the thing, is like the only thing you really miss is the points and the rules.
Yeah.
Because everything else is just somehow 3 hours of nothing.
It is.
Because there's just so little said.
Mm-hmm. And we get three performances what? Plus the elimination performance is all we get.
Yes.
The elimination performances being about 30 seconds long a piece, too.
Yes,
so.
Because that just takes over from the other episode, which is 4 performances.
Right.
And honestly, this round, which is essentially them doing their own songs.
Yep.
Which, usually that's the first round, but I don't question Mnet anymore, because who the fuck cares? And then they had to include 2 aces.
Yep.
Which just meant that everyone included 2 dance breaks.
Right.
Or an extended intro.
Right. That's all we did. That's all interesting or new. And I wouldn't even know interesting or new would be a good word to use to describe that.
No. And for some reason, it also just extended the performances, because all these performances are almost 5 minutes long.
Yes, they're so long. They feel so long.
At the low end, they're 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes. At the high end, they're almost 5. And truly, they're so long.
Truly, they feel so long. Like, it's so long.
We watched them right before we started recording, as we always do, to jog the memory. And dear God, does it throw you off every time? Because you're like, I would make a comment and then I would like kind of zone out and I'd zone back in and then we're still going.
I know.
But now we've added 8 other elements. And I think, I guess the best way to talk about the issues, because the thing is, there's the same issues. We have the same issues over and over again.
We have the same issues from the previous round of the show, and we also have the same issues that we see in previous iterations of Road to Kingdom. So that's fun that we get both of those this time.
We're also seeing the same issues that we saw last round.
Mm-hmm.
Because, dear God,
we still have. That's I think going to be the biggest hurdle to get over in the show is every performance is the same issue, because it's crazy because everyone's performances for the most part very different than last week, but everyone has pivoted to the same concept, so everyone's performance is the same again.
I'll give it this. While last week I think we had like 5 out of 7, I would say, are mostly the same.
Mm-hmm.
Now I think we've gone down to like, it's like 3 to 4 out of 7 are identical.
Oh, yeah.
There's a little more variation. There's a little bit more. I'll say that there's now, because we've always said we like around 2 of them. Right. I don't fully hate. No, there's still a lot I fully hate, but we'll get to it. I think the easiest way to go is to go one by one, and just to talk about the show. Chronologically, it's a strong word, because we just sort of pick an order and we go with it.
Right.
So if this is not how they performed, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
So the first one I have and that we watched was the new 6 with, not the new 6. The new 6 with Love or Die. Sorry.
Yep.
There's 2 songs called Love or Die,
Yep.
and it confuses me
We
every
get
time.
2 songs called Love or Die, and guess what? Their performances are the same as well.
Yes.
So we love that.
So the new 6 is very winter sad themed.
Mm-hmm.
Very
It's like we're in a snow globe type of vibe, kind of. But there's scaffolding. There's scaffolding. There's a lot of ladders for some reason.
But no one ever thought to, try to make the ladders look appealing in any way, so they just look like Home Depot ladders.
Right.
They're just utility ladders, no finesse whatsoever.
None.
But also, they're like just the straight up and down ladders. So they also involve someone having to hold you. You have to trust whoever's doing this, because there's no support.
Yep.
They're having to hold you. We've also decided to include random bits of ballet.
Yep.
Stop and starting at random intervals.
Yep, because we got Swan Lake type theming going on here.
And unlike sometimes where they try to incorporate the Swan Lake into the instrumental of the song, unlike some groups where they decided to try to lean into that, I'll give it this. They did sort of just, supersede. They're like, the song is superseding the Swan Lake. We will stop the song to do the Swan Lake.
Right.
Because you try to mesh those two together, like another group we'll get to tried to do, I think it genuinely would have been atrocious.
Oh, yeah.
To the only subpar that it is now.
Yep.
And so we've, at the end of the episode, it is the new 6 that ends up departing.
Yep.
This show.
Yep.
And while it's not the group I would have chosen to leave.
Right.
I'm not that upset about it.
I'm not that sad. I mean, they were not gonna win in any capacity. Do I think they're the worst on the show? Definitely not.
They were very mid-tier for me. Because I also wouldn't put them, in the lower half. I think they were solid middle.
Definitely, yeah.
And, I just think they have a little bit of an identity crisis, because everything about most of the performances of the new 6, while they were decent, felt generic.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Even this performance felt generic.
Pretty generic. It's also pretty confusing. I mean, in terms of other performances on here, it's pretty forgettable. I feel like that's probably the biggest complaint with it. Is it's very forgettable, and it also doesn't help that there's another performance of the same song name that is identical to it, for sure. But it's not bad. I don't hate it, but it is very, I think very, I like very
it
forgettable.
More than I like the other performance of the same song name, which is Gravity's Love or Die.
Yeah. That's a little bit better, that Gravity one.
Yeah. I just think that... I think it is unfortunate that they go home. I think it's the issue I have with a lot of these groups, where I just think that they just need a little more stability.
Yeah.
Not of anything the members are doing. I think the members are working with what is given to them.
Right.
But what is given to them is such mediocrity.
Yeah.
And it switches up every comeback. And I don't know, it just feels like... I don't think it's a group issue. I think it's a more overarching...
Yeah.
It's not a member issue, it's a group issue.
Right.
And when I say groups in K-pop, I mean everything that goes into making a group in K-pop, which includes, your management, your production, all that other shit.
Right.
And I think it's also a money issue.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It's, I feel like for, this show specifically, it does weirdly feel like there has gotta be a lot of, production or, company interference with whatever is going on in these performances, because they are so, weirdly specific, and I don't know why this season, for some reason, because that happens in every season, clearly, but it feels exceptionally worse this time.
I just don't know if maybe, has the K-pop landscape, because Road to Kingdom, it's been years.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's maybe I'm just less like, I know all these groups. It's not like we're boy group fans. We know all these groups and everything else. I don't know if maybe the prestige of like an Mnet show doesn't matter anymore.
Right.
Or I don't know if the K-pop landscape has changed so much where it's like, because I just feel like the caliber of group doesn't feel the same.
Well, that's like, true. For number one, definitely. The caliber of group is different, for sure.
But to the point where I'm just like, I don't know if it's just the fact that they couldn't get the original caliber. Like, they would have said no and just waited to get on Real Kingdom.
Well, they definitely screwed themselves over the way they casted original Road to Kingdom, where they cast that way too high, and now they had troubles casting actual Kingdom because of that. And now when they try to get back to Road to Kingdom, you of course have to cast it lower.
Yeah. Again, I think they really fucked themselves over. Like, there's a reason we don't do a Road to Queendom. There's a reason for that, and I think it's because that would have even caused more issues.
Oh, yeah.
I just find that, I don't know, something about this just feels like we're dealing with almost like different, I don't know, man. I think that also might be the issue with this season this is what the original Road to Kingdom should have been.
Yeah.
And in certain groups was, because I think some of those groups were well cast on that original Road to Kingdom season.
Right.
Like a Very Very should have always been there.
Right.
And groups of that nature. But I don't know. I just don't know. I think comparing it to original Road to Kingdom is a bad way of saying it, just because I think that it adds a level of, I don't even want to say disrespect, but there's a level of expectation that these groups are never going to meet because they just don't have the money.
Oh, definitely, yeah. The whole show, it's like Mnet really doesn't know what they're doing with the entire show. Like, it is
no.
I think
got this season.
Right. And like, I feel like we probably would have been better if we pivoted to something like Queendom Puzzle, like what they did over in that series. I feel like that would have been a much more enjoyable follow-up than trying to revive and like rebrand Road to Kingdom into like the very weird thing that this is now.
Fully shocked that they think that, because like that means that if this is the trajectory that we're going with, this implies that we are getting another Kingdom.
Oh yeah. And
I don't know how you guess that.
I don't know what they do with that at all.
Who goes on there anymore?
Yeah.
Realistically, like, who do you have?
Truly don't understand what they're trying to do with this series.
I don't even know if Mnet knows, because I do think that, or are they trying to ring another season of Road to Kingdom and then do they pivot to a Kingdom Puzzle?
Yeah, which is weird.
I don't know, man.
The whole thing is very weird.
And also I just think that we often say that these are the same, because they are. They're just a male-female version of each other.
Right.
Kingdom, Queendom, yes. But they are so singular.
They're so different. They're actually way more different. Treated. Yeah.
They're way more different than just being the male versions of each other.
Right.
Because Mnet is just, I think Mnet takes it on a one-season basis.
Right.
Like, they just go, this is what we can do this season, this is who we can get, and then we'll figure out next season. That's future me's problem.
Right.
They don't plan it.
They don't.
I think we have to move on to
Gravity. Gravity, who covers the same song, a song with the same name. Lover Die.
I mean, I never realized that Gravity and the New Six had songs of the same name.
I did not either until I got to this performance and I saw two named Lover Die, and I'm like, surely
and I originally thought that Mnet had
right, and I'm like, surely that's not right, and I'm like, also kind of wild for them. I don't know if they make these choices without production interference in any type of way. It feels like a wild choice to make, knowing that another group has the same song title as you.
So they have, while the other group had Scaffolding, they have a, like, essentially PVC cube.
Yes.
And it's just sort of there.
It's there, for sure. It's there.
I do like it more as an object to be moved around than the weird Narnia light post that Tempest had that first week.
Yeah, it is. And the fact that they've got, like, a shit ton of backup dancers to, like, to stabilize it definitely helps a lot for them. It is, and I feel like it works pretty well as, like, a prop for them. I do think I do actually like how they utilize it. It's very fun.
Yeah. Overall, this is fine. It is a bit boring.
It's a little boring. Theming, I don't fully know what the theme here is.
Rocks.
Rocks, yeah, sure. Rocks, I guess.
That's all I got.
Rocks, we could be on the moon. I thought that maybe we're on. I thought maybe we're on the moon. Yeah.
This is what we got: rocks and vague stars.
Right.
It's fine. Again, I do think Gravity coming into this was probably, again, the most popular, not the best, but, like, one of the more polished groups.
Uh-huh.
And I do think that continues to be true. It's fine.
It's fine.
Nothing to write home about.
Oh, yeah.
I will say, so the way that the performance had to work, you had to have the two aces that you picked. I guess it was a mandate that they had to be dressed a little bit differently than the group.
Yeah, it's like they do produce styling with the ace every time where they look a little bit different to make sure that you know they're the center.
And for the most part, it's atrocious.
It looks pretty bad, yeah.
This one isn't terrible because they just made, because the way the way the rest of the members of Gravity are dressed, it's black shirt, red pants, and then some of them have like a red accessory on top, like bits. And they just have like a white shirt, red accessory, red pants. So that is a better version of like of the way that most of them are styled.
Yeah.
It's some of the better styling.
I do also want to take this time to complain about how similarly the styling is for these groups.
Oh, yes.
Because the amount of performances we get of the groups just in red, black, or white is kind of insane. Like, and there's too many. like we simply didn't have any other colors.
We added blue. It's the same Idol styling. It's the black, red,
white, red, blue. It's all the same. It's so boring.
Yep.
It's like I feel like half the time we have picked outfits without thinking about the theming at all. And it's like whatever we have lying around that looks cool. It's just...
Because it's either vague suits or just whatever vague Idol outfit, which is just pants and a crop top.
Right.
And like a distressed sweater.
Yep.
That's really the two ways that you...
That's all we got.
...style idols.
Yeah.
With one exception. We'll get to the exception of the actual group that's getting styled well.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, no. Gravity's mostly just been boring.
Yep.
Alright, I don't want to talk about this one, but we got Unite.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
So Unite did their song Waterfall.
Yep.
I hated this.
It's really bad. So also, secondly, the first half of this performance is also identical to the TNX and Gravity ones. They all pivoted to like weird classical music, more elegant type theming, and the first half of that is this. And then in the second half of the performance, we take a hard pivot into musical theater done really badly.
It feels like that B2B performance from Kingdom.
Yes.
But just done really poorly.
Really poorly with no budget. But that's kind of like what a lot of this show is things done again really poorly with no budget. Mm-hmm. So, you know, what can I say?
Yeah. Because the song itself, it feels, like, at least in the beginning when they're just performing the song, feels quite dramatic and quite emotional.
Right.
Then for some reason we're in a 1920s jazz club.
Yeah.
And also for somehow also underwater.
We're underwater, yeah.
But we continue the theme of black suits.
Right, but underwater this time. So, you know,
underwater this
we're
time.
Different and cool because of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad. I really don't like it. I don't like what Unite is doing on this show. They remind me a lot of what ONF was doing when they were on this show.
Yeah.
That one rapper reminds me a lot of what Wyatt was doing on Road to Kingdom.
Oh, Wyatt was doing a lot on that show.
Yeah, oh yeah. They are performing points-wise very well, though. Way better than I would have expected given their popularity, which is upsetting, but, you know, good for them also, I guess.
Look, man, it just feels like we're, like I'm in the Twilight Zone sometimes. Just because you're, like, looking at this and I'm like, what about this appeals?
What is appealing? Anyone? Yeah, what here is appealing?
To anyone.
I just don't understand.
It's not my least favorite of the night, but it is the more frustrating one.
It is.
Where, like, I can see why we did it.
Right.
So it can't be my least favorite of the night.
Right.
But I don't like the choices that were made.
Oh yeah,
and a lot of bad choices that they made.
Right. This is like,
or even if they did make them, there is someone higher up than them that could have said no.
Right. Like it is.
That's the one thing. And also, for some reason, it's Christmas.
Yes, it is vaguely Christmas. Our favorite type of theming, the vaguely Christmas theming. I feel like a lot of groups on this show get held up, like, and this is a reoccurring theme between all of Road to Kingdom and Queendom, the whole series. They get really held up on we need to show we can do different concepts and that we have versatility.
Concepts that aren't idol concepts.
And no, and concepts
theater's not a concept.
Concepts they're actively bad at too. And,
absolutely.
And I just don't understand. Like I guess I get where the logic is coming from there, but no, what, like, I don't understand why you would actively want to keep putting out concepts that you as a group do not do and are bad at. Like, I just...
Oh, no, it was a very bad idea. So now we get to our favorite boys.
Our favorite boys, yes.
Our favorite.
Really holding up the whole show for us, honestly.
Really the only reason we're still here.
Yes, I'm very thankful they did not get eliminated because after coming in last place in the first round, I was very worried for them.
I know.
Very concerned.
And I do love that we had so much... Like, look, we had nothing but praise last week for A-Turn.
Oh, yeah.
This one we're gonna have a bit... It's not bad. It's
not
it. Of random Egypt
yeah,
themes,
okay,
it's the best
so that's
one I've ever
yeah,
seen.
Like, that's the problem, is we want Egypt
but
theme.
We can't unequivocally say this is the best thing I've ever seen.
No, like, and that's okay. Also, I'd like to point out the Egypt theming, we need to retire it forever.
Please!
We need to retire it and no one should do it again.
I don't think it's ever worked for anyone ever.
I don't understand why that's a concept that K-pop insists on coming back to time and time again. That entire concept, it needs to be retired. Like, we can't
for Tic Tac.
We can't keep doing it.
Also, I'm gonna be honest. A-Turn, only group that feels like they're being styled for the correct occasion.
Yes, they by far have the best styling out of all of the groups here. And even with it being Egypt themed, and this is like where we kind of get a little bit of the like, okay, we've chosen a theme and then like threw a dart for a concept. It makes sense, and the performance itself is like pretty cohesive, all things considered. Like, it is...
Again, they did the best with what they had.
Yeah.
And, like, sure, what they had was Egypt.
Right. And that's not great. But we're also not doing dollar store, like, Aladdin Go-Go Bebe. We weren't at that level, so that's great.
And honestly, it is a harder concept than most of these groups got.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because I'm sorry, scaffolding is not a concept.
Right.
Vague rocks is not a concept.
Vague rocks and vaguely... Christmas underwater, like, I don't...
Vaguely Christmas Little Mermaid.
Right?
Barely a concept.
We at least did get a fully fledged concept. Yeah.
Someone came out of a wardrobe covered in blood.
Right. And it's like, it wasn't a good idea. There could be better ideas.
Like, there were better ideas.
Better ideas could have been had.
If this is the concept you're stuck with, they did the best.
They did what they could do. They did what they could do with it.
And you know what? I love that.
Yeah.
For them. They are thriving.
And even with, like, the weirdest, like, concept thrown at them, they're easily were the most cohesive out of all performances we got this round.
They were still the best group by far. Yeah. And honestly, in terms of, we keep talking about styling, they had two of the, like, weirdest, like, most, because, like, all the rest of members of A-Turn are in these, like, adventure, like, greens and all that other stuff.
Right.
And that's fine. The two aces are one's in white, one's in red.
Right.
I think it works because they're also just not at all cohesive with each other.
Yeah, I do like that, how the two aces had...
But then if you're going to mismatch if you're going to mismatch them, also mismatch them from each other.
Yeah, I do like how the aces had different outfits on as well. I thought that was also nice. One of them
has half the performance covered in vague blood.
He does do that.
I'm into that. I am into that. I do just want to see... I just need them to hang on.
I know. I need them to make it to the finale. I really do think they have a decent chance of making the finale. I think it'll be rough for them. Like, and I think it also... Them making the finale is more dependent on how bad the crew one is, I feel.
The problem is that the crew won shit,
they're awful.
Still here.
Yeah. The whole idea of them is awful to begin with.
The whole idea of them upsets me. Because also, how the fuck are they going to perform at KCON if they win? They can't win.
I don't understand why they did that to them in the first place. It's just so confusing.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But speaking of the crew
of the crew one, here comes the worst performance of the round.
Oh, by
a lot. By, like, quite a significant amount.
So, we've decided what we're doing is the crew one, which is, again, like we said, Just B and Atboo combined.
Mm-hmm.
And also Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. But, like, really...
Actively fighting
Harry Potter
against the song.
Yes.
And also, in the vaguely copyright-free Harry Potter instrumental.
Yes.
That is fighting against the song.
Actively.
They are fighting.
So they are putting into, like, they've edited in this, like, legally distinct Harry Potter Hedwig's theme music. But neither of the songs they picked go with each other or go with the theme at all. Because both of them are very, like, loud, noisy groups for the most part. But we're trying to make it vaguely musical theater for at least half of the performance. And the energy of the song and of the performance, they do not match each other at all. There is so much just, like, absolute dissonance happening in the performance that none of it feels good. Because it just feels like it's fighting with itself the entire time.
Absolutely. It's, like, pissing me off a little bit.
It really is it's so confusing what they're doing. It's bad. And it's weird because it's not bad in the way that a lot of other performances on this show are normally bad, where it's, like, badly performed. But it's just, like, all of the planning and decision makings went into it. And I was like, so many people had to sit here and choreograph this and think about this, and was like, you know what? These two songs definitely don't go together. And this one theme that definitely doesn't fit either of those songs a little bit. Yeah. We're going to full send on it. And we're going to full send on the legally distinct Harry Potter music. Like,
Not just that, but I want to continue talking about the one thing we want from Just B, which is to be able to tell these groups apart.
This would have been the perfect time. Would have been the perfect time to do that in this performance.
Because there's two aces. Yeah. And I'm assuming the two aces are one from each group.
Right.
One of them is wearing a green blazer with a green tie. One of them is wearing a red blazer with a red tie. All the other ones are dressed the same in gray. Why don't you at least give them different ties?
We could have easily made the split in between, like, Slytherin, Gryffindor.
Who's in what group?
Yes, and it would have been so nice. But I know for a fact that they are probably actively trying to avoid reminding people that they are two separate groups. So I know that's why they're not doing it, but I think it's really stupid of them.
Genuinely pisses. The existence of this group pisses me off.
I know.
Entirely not because of the group itself, but because of the entirety of the fact that I don't know why it exists.
It's so confusing. Everything about the group and everything they've done on this show, I'm just like, why? Why are we doing the things that we're doing?
Alright. And I do think the other two performances are good.
Yes.
Thank God we're gonna end on a semi-positive note.
Yeah.
So, Tempest did, Eye of the,
one of the second song is Can't Stop Shining, and I don't remember the name of the first song that they did.
Don't either.
But they do two songs.
But it's Alice in Wonderland themed, which, you know what? In terms of overused K-pop aesthetics, Alice in Wonderland works.
I'll take it.
Because you can just do whatever the fuck you want and it fits, because Alice in Wonderland doesn't make any sense.
Oh yeah, I'll take Alice in Wonderland any day.
I'll take it. Two, it does make the background dancers a little more distinctive.
Right.
They have a purpose.
Right.
I do like the aces are dressed decently compared to everything else because they're in pink and the other ones are in blue. But Tempest is a small group. There's only like 5 of them. So there aren't that many boys.
Right.
And also there's also just a lot of black in these outfits.
Oh,
so they don't stand out distinctly too much.
Right.
They look semi-cohesive.
Right.
I do, and I really like this. I think that this is the Tempest I want. This is the kind of song I want Tempest to do.
And it's also, they did that kind of the same thing as Unite, where they had a switch in the middle, but it was better and it was less drastic and it made a lot more sense for what they were doing with the concept and the performance. And I really liked that. I liked probably the second half of the performance better because it was their more fun, cute songs, and that's
the song we actually like.
That's what I like out of them.
There was glitter.
There was a lot of glitter. Really did like throwing of glitter. Feel really bad for whoever has to clean up the glitter. But that was really fun.
Honestly,
I did like that.
I'm into it. This is what I want from Tempest.
Oh yeah.
Do more of this, Tempest.
Yep.
And then honestly, overall, I do still think my favorite was 8-Turn.
Yeah.
But Tempest is like right behind.
Yeah, Tempest did not do, they did pretty good this round.
They did pretty well.
Yeah.
I do think that there is like 8-Turn somehow the only one thriving in this situation.
The only one who has like a team that's making like decisions that make sense for them.
And like Tempest kind of needs to figure out that they just need to be themselves.
Right.
You can't be not Tempest.
Right,
The only thing we want from you is to be Tempest.
Right.
And then we get One Us. And the only thing I want from One Us is then for them to stop being more One Us.
Yeah, it's... Because, the thing is they've done so many concepts, but they keep actively picking the concepts we hate to bring back and do.
Their worst ones.
Their worst concepts, because they perform...
they did No Diggity, a song that we actively hate.
It's like the one song we asked they don't perform on this show. We're just like, if we were doing anything, please don't do No Diggity. And here we are in the second round doing No Diggity. Of course, this is another theme I want banned in K-pop along with Egyptian is Mad Max. We gotta retire that. No one needs to do it again. Absolutely do not need to see that theme again ever in my life.
Oh my god, it's so mid.
It is.
And also, for some reason, I feel like they are also sucking their own energy out of their own performance.
It's weird because it's not like it's fighting with itself, but it's like it's
just not going.
It's not going anywhere. Yeah.
They're trying to be like chill about it, and I'm like, no, not No Diggity.
Not No Diggity. That's not a song. That's not the song you perform if you want to be chill. You have so many other songs you could be doing that with. And it's not good. My first immediate thought when they started performing, and I was like, oh, very Stray Kids of them, this performance. How very Stray Kids of them to do this entire performance in the way that they are.
And like, it's just not working for me.
Yeah.
The image that One Us is portraying just feels like not One Us.
It doesn't. It does feel like they're having like a Pentagon-esque mental breakdown while on the show. Like it's very confusing in a lot of ways. They just don't understand.
There are more songs in the ONEUS discography that I would say I like rather than don't like.
Right, exactly.
The problem is they used a bunch of them in the first Road to Kingdom, so I don't think they're gonna go back to that.
That's the thing, is they've performed a lot of their good songs already on other original Road to Kingdom.
And so on top of that, it's like, well, where do we go
Where
from
do we
here?
go? We have no diggity left, is where we're at now, so.
Well, yeah, could have used Black Mirror.
Yeah.
But we didn't do that. You could have used... There's so many songs they could have used.
Yeah.
But it didn't work out for them.
No. When are they gonna pull out a song written easily? Or, like, say, Luna, they have Luna still sitting there, like...
Yeah, but then they're gonna be like, it's too much like lit, and I'm like, just outdo it.
But you don't. That doesn't matter.
Just outdo it.
You could just do it again. You could also just do it again.
Nothing is preventing you from doing a song you've already done,
right?
Because that's the other thing. Like, they could also just do so many other songs that they have.
I know.
Like, they're talking as if ONEUS is not just been consistently doing music,
right?
For
years longer than these other groups. Like,
you know what they should do? Fuck it. If you're gonna throw balls to the wall, go Latin pop. Go Baila Conmigo. Why the fuck are you just doing the same thing everyone else is doing? There are so many
other better songs they could be doing than No Diggity.
ONEUS has done so much already.
And it's not like No Diggity is a recent song. That is a pretty old ONEUS song at this point. Like, we don't need to
be at least
we don't need to dwell on it anymore. Yeah.
I don't know, man. It just... Why are we here, man?
What are they doing?
Is this all you have to offer me, ONEUS?
I know. And ONEUS is also, again, fully going in on we have one guy who's important and that's it.
Even though we were supposed to have two guys.
We have
but
two
really,
guys.
It was still only the one guy.
And it's like, yes, we do technically, but we really do only have one guy. And it's very confusing that is what we keep going back to, is ONEUS deciding we have one guy and that's it.
It's depressing.
And it's like, if like you were to pick out the guy in ONEUS, like, it is definitely Wanwoo.
That would be the guy.
He would be the guy, but it's like,
but the problem
he's not good enough
to
be the guy.
He's
not good enough to be
and he's not
the one guy.
Yeah. It's not like it's a Hyuna or an Eunwoo situation. Even with Eunwoo, it was never Astro, was never Eunwoo and friends.
Right.
That's very much like a Hyuna thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And like, that's more of a popular, like, it just feels, what is happening?
Why? For why?
Like, I just feel like there's, like, it feels like this is to them, it's a foregone conclusion that this is what they have to be doing.
Right.
And my thing is, like, when did we decide this?
Right.
When was this decided?
It's
because
very
I don't
weird,
think it needs to be this.
No. The really going full in on, this is the one thing we have as a group. This is
our one man.
Right.
He's the one man band here.
It's unnecessary.
It's not as bad as that Kick It performance, though. That Kick It performance was really the one man band.
Oh yeah, this is a little bit more like evened out, but it's still pretty obvious that they're pushing him as the guy.
Yeah. So then we get the ace performances.
Yep.
It's the one crew which always has to have two aces, and they're giving me nothing because it's a weird, vaguely martial artsy instrumental, and I'm like, okay.
They do a nice little dance performance, and that's
it. It's a little dance performance. It's about a minute long. Yep. Nothing too crazy. And then for some reason, the new Six sends out a rapper.
Yeah, that is...
a mid-rapper at best.
Sending a bad rapper to your ace performance was a choice for sure. I don't know why that was. I don't know why that was the choice that they made, but it was.
A gamble was made.
Mm-hmm.
They
did not win the gamble.
No, they did not. I am happy that it ended up being between those two.
Yeah, so and
not 8-turn.
I don't want to go over the whole point breakdown because it's confusing and it takes them forever. But the crew one comes in last on like group performances, and the new six comes in last on ace performances, I think is how it ended up. And so if a group were to come in last in both of those categories, they go home immediately, but if it's two separate groups, then they battle. So then here they are having to battle.
And for some reason we decided, again, I don't like the fact that ace performances have now just evolved into which dancer is better.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that's what an ace is.
Right.
But throwing in a bad rapper does not improve this.
It was definitely not it. Yeah. Not the way. I do think it is possible for a rapper or a vocalist to win the ace performance against a dancer, again, but this guy was not going to be the one to do it.
Yeah, because again, in my heart of hearts, like people that are called aces in K-pop, a lot of it is dance ability. Because like you'll see people like it's like Tame and it's like Jungkook and whatever, but I don't know if there's the ace is either you're good at everything,
right?
Or, in my opinion, I think you should also be allowed to be an ace if you're just phenomenal at one thing.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Because I do think that, like, you put a phenomenal rapper.
Yeah.
You put, like, a Sugar.
Like, if Bobby were to show up to an ace performance, like...
There's no way they would lose.
They got what, like, he would win.
Or even, like, given the current climate of K-pop... Even, we don't like them, but, like, given the current climate of K-pop, if, like, a Bang Chan.
Right.
Or a Changmin or whatever from Stray Kids, I think that would hold water.
Yeah.
But the only ace in Stray Kids, to be honest, is Han. The only one.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's fucking carries that whole group in all three of those categories.
Oh, yeah.
It just depends on what you're categorizing an ace as.
Right, right.
Because, like, there are people that are good at all three, but that doesn't necessarily make them the best at one of them.
Yeah.
Because, sure, Taemin can sing. Taemin can't rap.
Right.
But Taemin can dance better than anyone I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
That's what I'm saying, is, like, you're not... It depends...
I think those elimination battles are the place where you should be throwing out your, like, person who's really good at one thing, specifically. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, is, like, an ace battle needs to be... Because the way K-pop groups define something, it's like, no, I think it's almost better to be a master of one, especially in K-pop.
Oh, yeah.
Where, like, if you're a master of all three, you're not doing K-pop.
Oh, yeah. Definitely not.
Or if you are doing K-pop, you're in a phenomenal, out-of-this-world group and you're a soloist at this point.
Right, right.
But for the most part, you're phenomenal at one thing.
Yeah.
And you're good at something else. If you're great at two things, because a lot of times the dancers are also good singers.
Right.
Like J-Hope. J-Hope's a good rapper and a great dancer.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I don't know what else to tell you of just, like, I think that it's a lot to ask of somebody.
Yeah.
To be phenomenal at everything.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And I also don't think that these ace performances are even testing you at everything.
No, they're just there to be, like, a weird, like, flourishing, like, we need to have a theme for the season and this is it. Like, I don't think they really have, like, put a lot of actual thought into it in any type of way. Alright.
So that's this week.
Yep. Next week we get round 3, which I tried to follow what was going on, but I truly don't understand because I wasn't given subtitles. But we are doing the weird, like, we're splitting the round in half thing again, so there's that.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yep.
I just wish we got I wish Road to Kingdom did what Kingdom is allowed to do.
Yeah.
And just made them do each other's songs.
I think
it would have genuinely been.
Yeah, I love this. I love this song swap so much in Kingdom.
It's so good.
It's my favorite part of that.
And it gives you some of the most disastrous
Yes,
shit.
Absolutely.
But it gives you some of the best performances of the whole fucking show come to the song swap.
Right. And
you get My Girl doing that one lovely song, Destiny.
Yeah.
You get, what's it called? You get Inception from that. You get You get so
you
much
get the SF9 the Stealer
you get
from
the
that.
SF9 the Stealer from that. You just get so much good music from that.
It's great.
It's
my favorite round of anything they do
it.
on any of these seasons of the show.
It's the thing that makes this show worth it, honestly.
Yeah, and we don't get it in Road to Kingdom because apparently they decided they don't like to have that in Road to Kingdom.
Let's be honest, I feel like whoever gets the crew one should
That's
get
rough.
that.
That's super rough, actually.
You know what should happen? Whoever gets the crew one gets to do the Lovelies thing from Queendom.
Oh, they just get to pick whatever they want.
Pick whatever the fuck you want.
Because, what the hell do you do with that?
Again, I still love that Lovelies thing turned out to be the biggest fucking monkey's paw deal imaginable.
Yep.
It's like it almost was like a fucking genie wish. It's like, you get to tick whatever you want.
And it was
But the
awful.
one group that gets your song takes your song.
And they also did an awful performance with the song that
it was the best genie wish situation. It was phenomenal. Best piece of reality television.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, it's some of the best piece of reality television you'll ever see.
Definitely.
You even get to see fucking it's also some of the best vocals I've ever heard out of Stray Kids when they had to cover Beat to Me. You got so much good shit, and they don't let them do it on Road to Kingdom.
It's rude as hell.
It's so rude. All right.
Yep.
But that's been the episode.
That's been the 2 episodes, really.
The 2 episodes. The round.
Yeah, the round. We'll continue to watch the show, and it'll be something. Yep.
We're not stopping.
Can't stop now, but it'll be something. But we are available on all major podcasting platforms like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We also have a YouTube channel where we have all of our episodes as well. And with that, we will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.